of the other sessions?
Have what?
Have you watched any of the other sessions of the conference?
Yes, I have.
Good, because what you'll have to do is you will have to tell us about what you've seen, what you know about the conference. So what we'll do is let's just put up what we're doing here, and then you can tell us about the conference. So this is what Merit is doing: mediation in matrimonial disputes, sword or shield. And of course, World Mediators Conference started on 18th May, goes up till 30th June. And here onward, of course, 18th May is Ken Cloke's birthday, who's the face of the dispute resolution revolution, which I call the resolution revolution. And I celebrate that as World Mediators Day. So Merit, from here onwards, tell us about the conference, tell us about yourself, get into the topic. I'm here, mute, spectator, but not on mute. So please.
Okay. My name is Merit Divine-Abagha. I'm speaking from Nigeria. I'm a lawyer and I am in full-time practice. Okay, apart from practicing law, I also do one or two arbitral matters, mediations, negotiations, and all that. Okay, so far about the conference. Okay, it's a world conference, World Mediators Conference, and Sir Vikram has gathered all of us here in this platform to talk about mediation generally. And so far, so many persons have talked about what they know about mediation and empathy, the role of a mediator, the marks a mediator wears during the course of mediation. I know some persons will still talk about traditional mediation and all that. So it's just all about mediation and how we can try as much as possible to settle disputes outside of the courts. Okay, how to mediate between two parties who are disputing. It's like an alternative dispute resolution. And we are seeing different facets of it in this conference. We are seeing diverse roles the mediator plays and other things that is required, the process, the emotions, the environment, and all that. So that is that.
So you've told us about yourself as much as you want to, or anything else that you want to tell us? Because I think the format of the conference is that basically people choose their topic, whatever they want to talk about. But of course, in relation to mediation, not anything that they want to talk about. But so this is what it is all about. So please, Merit, let's get into the topic straight away.
Okay. I don't know if I can share my
you can
my PowerPoint. Please. Okay. I coincide mediation in matrimonial disputes.
You haven't shared the screen.
And
your screen hasn't been shared.
It's coming up.
Okay, perfect. It's coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's up here.
Okay. So I'll be talking about mediation in matrimonial disputes, and I want to go to the direction of whether it is a sword or is a shield. Okay, so this topic is quite a sensitive one because it's talking about two individuals who have emotions, they love each other, and they decide to enter into there is need to settle those disputes. So as you can see from my slide, it's titled Mediation in Matrimonial Disputes. Is it a sword or is it a shield? does mediation help to settle matrimonial disputes, or does it end up destroying it? Okay, so I'll start by defining what mediation is and what matrimonial dispute is. So from my next slide, you will see that I defined mediation to be an alternative dispute mechanism where a mediator is called to assist or aid or facilitate in settling disputes between parties. Okay, from my slide here, you will see a mediator sitting, and his role is basically the role of assisting the party. It's not like a judge or like an arbiter or like an umpire. He's just there to help the parties, assist them in any way he can to settle their disputes. Okay, so the slide is showing us a person, a mediator, sitting to assist couples and settling their disputes. Okay, and we'll move over to what matrimonial dispute is. Matrimonial dispute, and as you can see from the slide, you see two couples, two persons, men, a man and a woman, and they're having some kind of issue. Okay, if you look at the picture, it paints a picture of people who are having some kind of issue. Okay, and I defined matrimonial dispute to simply mean marriage-related disputes. Of course, you agree with me that there are different kinds of disputes. Okay, we have contractual disputes, we have commercial disputes. Okay, we have different kinds of disputes, but this particular dispute is talking about matrimonial disputes, the disputes that happens in the family, in marriage. Okay, I don't know if you are following me, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I said it's simply a marriage-related dispute, and this type of dispute is between a husband and a wife. Okay, and going further, I want to say generally that we human beings, we live in communities. We live in communities. We don't live in isolation of others. And because we live in communities, issues are bound to come, conflicts are bound to arise. Okay, and marriage institution is not immune from those kind of conflict or issues. Okay, so we have issues, human beings have issues on a daily basis. We have issues ranging from contractual issues, ranging from issues emanating from commercial transactions and all that. And marriage institution is also part of the institution that also experience dispute and conflict. Okay, and going further, I want to say that a marriage dispute is a special kind of dispute. It's a special kind of dispute. I have said it earlier on that it's not like the contractual disputes we see every day, where two persons entered into contractual transactions and they're having issue. Of course, marriage can also be seen as a contract, but this is a special type of contract. Okay, it's because the end is not to make profit. There is no profit attached to it. This is a special kind of contract. Okay, so marriage dispute is not the normal type of dispute we'll see every day. It is a kind of dispute that involves emotional outbursts between the couples. And the mediator have a huge role to play in this kind of dispute. The burden on him to settle this type of dispute is quite a huge one, because it's not just the normal kind of dispute you see every day. So if you go further, you will see from my slide two parties, two couples are busting at each other. okay, about their dispute. So, but then before we delve into the topic totally, I would like to talk about 2 ways couples can submit to mediation. Now that we understand that disputes can arise from a marriage, from the relationship between a husband and a wife, how can they submit to mediation? Okay, how would they submit to mediation if those issues arise and they cannot solve it on their own? And I listed 2 ways they can submit to mediation. They can submit to mediation via private arrangements, okay, and they can also submit to mediation if the court orders it. Okay, in several jurisdictions now, mediation has been incorporated in the laws as, you know, as part of the alternative dispute resolution. Okay, so even when couples, you know, they want to dissolve the marriage in total, the court will still want to, you know, try to settle this dispute and know if this issue emanating from the couples can be settled via mediation. So the court can order mediation, and the couples on their own can say, okay, we are having these issues and we want a solution to it. Let's involve a third party who would try to settle this issue amongst us. Okay, so that's where you talk about the private arrangement. And in this private arrangement, the couples are voluntarily submitting to the mediator, and they are saying, okay, we are having this issue and we want you to help us solve it. Okay, so move further and we talk about the mediation techniques. Mediation techniques. What are the techniques a mediator who has been called to aid the parties resolve their issue? What are the techniques they would employ in solving those issues? And the first one on our list is the facilitative technique. The second one is the transformative technique. And the third one is the evaluative technique. Okay, so we'll define this this technique so that we'd understand what this the meaning of these techniques and how they apply to solving the disputes between couples in marriage. Okay, so we talk about the facilitative technique. Okay, here the mediator asks the parties questions. Okay, because the mediator will want to know what is actually the problem. Okay, the mediator will want to know what is the issue between those parties and how can we solve it. So you want to ask them questions and seek their point of views. You also want to analyze their interests and weaknesses. And in doing this, the mediator would know how to bring about solution to the parties' disputes or to the parties' problem. Okay, and the second type of technique we have here is the transformative technique. Transformative technique, and I said in my slide that the ultimate aim of the mediator using this technique in aiding the parties to resolve their dispute is to positively transform the couple's relationship. Okay, that is the end of using this technique. As we can see, the name is transformative. So when something is transformative, when it is transformational, it's the result of it should bring about transformation. Okay, and we're talking about positive transformation here. Okay, we're talking about positive transformation, how this technique can amicably settle the dispute between the parties. So in transformative technique, it is we said it is quite similar to facilitative technique. Transformative technique is very similar to facilitative technique, but the only difference between these two techniques is the couples arrive at their own solution. The couples arrive at their own solution. It is now the couples that will reach their own solution. It is not the mediator that would, okay, say, okay, this is what I realize the couples are trying to say. And from there, I would give so and so solution to their problem. No, the couples here is deciding on their own solution. Okay. And the last technique we'll be talking about here is the evaluative technique. The evaluative technique. And I said from my slide that this the mediator meets the couples in separate meetings. Mediator meets the couples in separate meetings, okay? In trying to resolve this issue, you know, matrimonial dispute is a very sensitive one, and sometimes the couples would not want to hear each other. You know, the man will be shouting, the woman will be shouting, the man will be saying, I am right, the woman will be saying, I am right, okay? So in trying to resolve this issue, in trying to settle it, the mediator might want to separate the couples, okay, so that a fight will not ensue, okay? Because recently I handled a mediation between two couples, and the wife was telling me to go to hell. I should go to hell, and the type of emotional outburst I saw in the course of mediation was nothing to write home about. So you see, in such situations, you see that the couples are really trying to get at each other. So the work of the mediator is to employ the evaluative technique to separate the two parties and try to find out what is actually the problem. Okay, and with this technique, once he consults the man and find out his own problem, he consults the woman, find out her own problem, it will help the mediator to know how to solve these issues that these couples are having. Okay, so you can see the slide is showing a picture of two chairs kept in different places. And this is how the mediator will keep the parties in different places and try to know what really is the problem. And with this technique, the mediator will be able to understand their real issue and try to settle it. Okay. And so we you know, one of the underlining things we talk about our topic is whether mediation is a sword or a shield. Whether mediation is a sword or a shield. And I personally, I think mediation is a shield, because from the definition of mediation, you would know that it is an alternative dispute resolution that aims at amicably settling the disputes of the parties, of the couples. Okay, the end is to bring about a thriving relationship between the disputing parties. Okay, it is not aimed at destroying their relationship. It is aimed at bringing about a win-win situation where the couples at the end of the day are happy that they actually engaged the services of a mediator. So a mediation to me is like a shield. It's like a shield. It protects the couples from and it helps the mediator to solve the issues between the couples so that it will not escalate to another thing where you know, you see the couples going to court, filing for divorce and all that. So mediation to me is a shield. It is aimed at preserving the relationship. What the couples have, it is aimed at preserving what the couples have and not to destroy the relationship. So mediation to me is a shield. Is a shield. You know, so many persons will say, okay, we don't want to bring in a third party and all that. Okay, but then the court coming in is also a third party. Okay, and when it goes to court, you know, it's not just the judge that is seeing it. the general public is also seeing it. So it has moved from the issue between the couples to a public issue. And, you know, if care is not taken, the issue might escalate to a different thing altogether in court. But once it is in mediation stage, okay, it helps to preserve that relationship, okay, so that the public would not know about it. And, you know, the couple's secret is with them, okay? You try to know their hidden interests, their hidden agendas they don't want to share with each other. And this would help to build the relationship back, okay? So my next slide is showing how mediation can preserve and not destroy. Okay, you see the picture is showing a divorce petition that is already wrapped up. We don't want to go into divorce full blown. We want to settle this amicably. Okay, so mediation helps to preserve the relationship of the two parties and not to break it down or destroy it. Okay, so let's go further on the slide. So someone might be asking, why do we choose mediation? Apart from why do we choose mediation? Why not go to courts? Why not go to court? Why not employ the services of an arbitrator? Of course, we know that mediation is not the only alternative dispute resolution. We have arbitration, we have negotiation, and other types of alternative dispute resolution mechanism. Okay, so someone might be asking, why not use other alternative? Why not use other alternative? But there is a reason why we chose mediation to be the means of settling couples dispute. Okay, there is a reason for that. I said I'll be sharing some reasons why mediation is highly and hugely recommended and preferred in matrimonial dispute than other alternative dispute mechanisms. Okay, so from our next slide, you will see and some of the reasons why mediation is more preferred, why mediation is recommended, even by our laws. Okay, the first point I have here says the law sanctions it. The laws of many countries, I know India, the laws of India sanctions mediation for matrimonial disputes. Even here in Nigeria, it's part of the alternative dispute mechanism that is incorporated under our Matrimonial Causes Act. Okay, so laws of many countries sanction mediation as the viable tool or means of settling couples disputes. Okay, even when the issues comes before a judge. Okay, even when, like I talked about, court-ordered mediation. So even when the dispute comes before a judge, the judge will want to know whether the parties have tried to settle their disputes. Okay, he don't just jump into the divorce case strictly. He wants to know whether the parties have resolved their issues by involving mediation, and if they've not done so, he would recommend mediation to them. Okay, go out and settle your issues, because a marriage institution is the kind of institution that when it breaks down, it affects so many people. So many lives are depending on it. The children are depending on this marriage. The society, the extended family is depending on this marriage. So when it breaks down to the point of going to court, the judge wants to also do his own part by trying to refer the parties to settle amicably. Okay, so if settling amicably is not possible, okay, they can now come back to court for the dissolution proceedings proper. So many countries sanction mediation as part of the alternative dispute resolution of settling couples disputes. Okay, another reason why mediation is highly, as you can see from my slide, the law recommends it even when the couples are going to court, okay, let the law settle this dispute, okay, there is also a need for the couples to talk it out with each other, because one of the good sides of mediation is that the parties are allowed to talk it out. It is a very interactive section between the parties, not the mediator. Like the mediator is there to assist and aid the parties. So the couples are there to talk about their issues. Okay, let us ventilate what is really causing this issue. So the parties are there to talk hugely about their problems. Okay, so we'll move over to the next slide. Why mediation is highly recommended. I said mediation, matrimonial disputes are sensitive. Matrimonial dispute is a very sensitive one. You agree with me that matrimonial dispute is a very sensitive one, okay? And this is because the reason for the disagreement is usually socially or emotionally motivated, okay? It is not like we are having issues with profit, okay, or you breached the part of the contract by not showing up or doing your own part of the contract. It's majorly emotionally motivated or provoked, okay? So this is the reason why it is very sensitive, because the foundation of matrimonial dispute, 80% of the foundation is emotionally provoked. Okay, so that is why I earlier said that the burden on the mediator is a huge one. It's a very heavy one, because the mediator will try to understand the emotions, the feelings of the disputing parties or disputing couples. Okay, it's not like it's a tangible something that you can see, or a document that you can say, okay, this is our role, this is the things you should do and the things you should not do in this marriage. Sometimes things are not spelled out like that. Okay, so the bulk of the work is emotional, and the mediator, emotional being something intangible, he may not really understand until the parties start talking. Okay, so mediation, matrimonial dispute is a very sensitive one. Okay, and the reason why mediation is recommended is because the mediating process is an avenue where the parties can ventilate those emotions. Okay, because emotions deals majorly with irrationality. Okay, emotion deals majorly with irrationality, and the law does not deal with irrationality. The law deals with rationality. Okay, so mediation helps the parties to resolve the sensitive issues so that it will not escalate to another thing. Okay, let's go further, and we see another point why mediation is highly recommended. I said here that matrimonial dispute is a special kind of dispute. It's a special kind of dispute. It's not like the conventional disputes we have in the society. Lives are depending on this relationship. The society is depending on this relationship. And so there is need for caution. There is need for carefulness in handling this disputes. And so mediation comes in as a viable platform where the parties can amicably settle these disputes, okay, without involving the judges and the courts process and all that. So mediation is a special kind of dispute. So we'll move further to the next point on the slide. I said mediation reduces acrimony. Okay, mediation provides an avenue for the couples to do away with their hostility, dark and negative feelings against each other. Okay, because when couples are having issues like this, you see people, you see the couples doing things that on a normal ground, on a normal day, they can't do to each other. Okay, you see them plotting and planning. Okay, because the love is no longer there. Hostility has set in, rancor has set in. Okay, and mediation provides that friendly environment where they can ventilate their emotions, uncover those hidden emotions inside of them. Okay, so with mediation, couples can reduce acrimony or hostility towards each other. Okay, the major work of the mediator is to ensure cordiality and dens the temper of each of the parties against each other. Okay, so mediation provides that friendly environment. It provides that platform where the parties can talk and ventilate their grievances or growls against each other. You see the mediator from the picture we have here on the slide. You see the mediator trying to push out, the parties from, clashing with each other. Okay, he's trying to ensure that each of the parties don't jam themselves and clash at the end of the day. So the work of the mediator is to help reduce acrimony in the relationship with the couples. Okay, we'll move over to the next. The next on the slide is mediation is therapeutic. Mediation is therapeutic. Mediation provides a friendly environment to uncover deep and suppressed emotions between the couples. Okay, and it provides that avenue where the couples ventilate their grievances, ventilate their growls. Okay, and when that friendly environment is provided, you see them letting out those emotions they have suppressed, letting out those deep emotions they don't want to let out, they don't want to tell anybody. Okay, once they let it out, they start to heal. Okay, once they let it out, those hurts within them start to heal. Okay, so mediation helps to bring about healing to the couples, because if you keep suppressing these emotions or anger or dark energies, you keep going down by the day, and this would also provoke some kind of anger and hatred towards each other. And these are the things that makes the couples to start plotting and planning against each other. So in the platform of mediation, the couples ventilate, uncover emotions, and this would help them to heal. So mediation is therapeutic. And the next point on the slide is mediation is flexible and speedier. Okay, nobody wants to go to court where the court process generally is a long one. Okay, sometimes it spans up to a year, 2 years, and all that, trying to settle these issues. But with mediation, it becomes flexible, it becomes speedier. The couples are able to resolve their issues very flexibly and very speedy. And there is nothing like rules and regulations concerning how they talk, how they comport themselves, taking of evidence. Somebody is coming to say, okay, I know that party A was once abusing party B. Okay, it is a platform where the couples ventilate and talk about what is happening to them without following any rule or regulation. They are free to air their views. They are free to air their mind or opinions. Okay, they are not ashamed because they are already on the platform of mediation where there is nobody there apart from the mediator. Okay, so they are free to ventilate. They are free to resolve their issues in the best way they can. They don't follow rules and regulations. Okay, so mediation process is very flexible, and there is no hard and fast rules about how it will be operated. And there's no long protocol. There's no long protocol, and the couples are free to share their growls or grief with any method or pattern they lack. Okay, we move over to the next on the slide. I said mediation leaves the decision in the hands of the couples. Mediation leaves the decision in the hands of the couples. If the couples want to settle, of course, if they want to settle, they would always settle, because mediation provides that enabling environment. So where they can talk about what is best for them, the future of their relationship, what they ought to do to make sure that this relationship works. Mediation brings about that, that avenue to ventilate those opinions or interests Okay, one of the reasons why mediation is highly and hugely recommended is that it leaves the power of making the decision in the hands of the couples. Okay, the couples are free to decide on what is favorable and best suits them. Okay, nobody is compelling or forcing them to do anything. Everything is proceeding from a place of voluntariness. Okay, nobody is telling you, okay, you must do this, you must do that. These are the rules and the regulations guiding this process. Okay, they are free to make the decisions that would be best for the both of them, both for the children, for the society, for the extended family. So the work of the mediator is merely to facilitate and not to sit like an umpire, like what we have in the courts or other dispute resolution mechanisms. He is there to sit and help the parties resolve their disputes amicably. Okay, so we are gradually approaching the end of the slide, and the next point we want to talk about is mediation secures confidentiality. It secures confidentiality. You agree with me that mediation is not a public affair where everybody or anybody that wants to walk in can always walk in and sit at the gallery and listen to the couple's disputes or issues. Okay, it's a confidential affair. Okay, the only third party that is allowed to be on that platform of mediation is the mediator. Okay, and even the mediator have to, swear an oath of confidentiality. Okay, I'm keeping the secret of those couples. I'm not here to escalate this issue. I'm here to, help them resolve their issues. And so he tries to keep the information that is emanating from the mediation process confidential. Okay, he's not trying to escalate it to another thing. He's trying to help them confidentially resolve their disputes so that they would end up being happy at the end of the day. That's where we talk about the win-win situation. Okay, so that's that. Mediation secures confidentiality of the parties. Okay, the end of the end is resolution. The end of mediation is resolution. Okay, so once the dispute is resolved, every party is happy. Okay, but once there is no point of agreement, then it will get to a point where the couples will want to go to court. But the major aim of the mediator is to see to it that the parties resolve their issues, that the parties resolve their grounds or grievances against each other. So the end of mediation is resolution. Okay, so I will say, I said in this next slide, what is the aim of every mediator? Okay, if I'm sitting as a mediator resolving the dispute between two couples, what is the end that I'm looking at? What is the aim? The aim is to settle the disagreement or the differences between the couples and to help them reach agreement. And once agreement is reached, from the picture in the slide, you can see the couples and the mediator joining hands together, showing agreement between them. Okay, the issue between the couples have been resolved. Okay, so that is the ultimate joy of every mediator. Every mediator looks forward to a mediation process where the parties at the end of the day have settled their dispute amicably. So we'll move over to the next slide. You will see two couples rejoicing with each other. I think this is a point of where the couples have actually resolved their issues and they are happy, and the mediator is also happy. So the aim of the mediator is a happy ending between the disputing couples. Okay, so that is
thank you, Merit. That's it. Thank you, Merit. What I thought was we got Loba there. Loba, you want to come in? You want to put your video on? Although she's made life easier for me, of course. Her full name is, I will have to pronounce it properly, Olu Wato Beloba. But she's shortened it to Loba for me. You know Loba? Merit?
I think he's my contact, Aderinan. Adeniran. Okay, I think I know him because I posted it on my social media.
Okay, she was commenting on the chat there. So Lova, you want to come in? Yes, Lova's here. You'll have to unmute yourself. Unmuting will help. We might be able to hear you. It'll be nice to hear you.
Yeah.
No, she's decided that we will have to do lip reading. Loba, you'll have to unmute yourself. Unmute button, please.
Okay, you have to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
What I'll do is let me send you
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. We can hear
Hello?
you, but we can't see you. Now we can hear you, not see you. Either way. Now, can we do both? That's the thing.
I'm trying to, but I don't know. I guess it's my phone that's doing. But anyways, if you can hear me,
yes, we
I
can
just
hear
want
you.
to say thank you. Thank you. This was really helpful. And yes, of course, we've always known the process of mediation. But the fact that we can even use it in family issues, like settle family issues and amicably. Before now, you know, sometimes there's some issues that have happened that I've had to mediate over. And because of how deep their issues were, they didn't want a resolution. And eventually they had to go back to court to file divorce and all. And, you know, mediation does not really support or welcome divorce. But today, I think I've learned more in caucusing, you know, separating them, like the evaluation method that you use. Like we can just talk to them personally, like here, let them tell you exactly what is eating them up. And by so doing, we can eventually have a win-win situation. So thank you so much. This is Miss Merritt, right?
Yes, Miss
Mrs. Merritt. Yeah, thank you so much. You've really done a great job.
But Loba, you can tell us about yourself also a little bit.
What did you say?
You can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Oluwatobiloba, which means God is great. Oluwatobiloba Noel Adeniran. Yes, I'm a mediator, and I have my professional certificates from ICMC, that's Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators in Nigeria. So, Mediator Vikram, I met you through Fola Alade when you came on this platform. So that was when I met you. That was how we became friends on LinkedIn, and I think on YouTube too. Good. So yeah, my firm name is the Mediation Culture. So I practice under that name, the Mediation Culture. Although I don't do so much of social media because my person, I really don't post sessions and all. But
you should. You have to reach out to as many people as you can.
Yeah, I just give bit of my points. I just make them. You can check it on Instagram. I think I only have the name on Instagram. I didn't open on other social media.
But tell me, Fola keeps talking about pushing yourself on social media. You haven't listened to him.
Yes, he does. I have. In fact, I've met him in person. We've talked about it, but maybe just me, you know, bending a lot of things together. It's so much as a mother, a wife, you know, a minister of the gospel, and you know, doing mediation at the same time. So I'm here, and there. So, and I don't have a manager. Maybe I should just get a manager that will do that for me.
Why don't you get someone to do the mediation also?
What did you say?
Get someone to do the mediation also. Relax,
oh, okay. Okay. All right, thank you.
But Merit, I think what we need to discuss is, because you've put out evaluative as caucusing, but evaluative is understood as the mediator suggesting. Of course, the decision is obviously those people. We don't, I mean, I don't call them parties, I say participants. I'm trying to move away from the language of the court system. I call it participants. But if you have, I mean, evaluative is a concept of suggesting, you can suggest, and facilitative people believe that the mediator should not even suggest. So that's, they look at facilitative that way. Of course, transformative being, can you transform the relationship? Does the relationship actually get transformed during the process? So that's how they look at it. But tell me, Merit, in terms of mediation, is traditionally in families and all, is there still mediation happening, or is it in the court system only?
Okay, you are asking whether mediation is happening in court system?
No, traditional in families and all communities. Is there a concept of matrimonial? Let's talk about matrimonial, because that's the topic you picked up. Is that happening?
Of course, mediation is happening. You know, I didn't talk about the part of the issue of bringing in a professional mediator and, you know, having, you know, people around you mediate over the issues. Okay, of course, we have, you know, sometimes these couples, they want to talk about their issues with somebody they know. Okay, here in Nigeria, the extended family can come in. Okay, the kindred people can come in. Okay, these couples are having issues. How do we resolve it? So sometimes they bring in somebody they respect in the family to resolve their issues. Many a times they can also involve their religion. Okay, you see pastors resolving issues between couples. Okay, you see the priests resolving issues, calling them, you know, to find out what their problem is. In fact, the issue of pastors resolving issues is very rampant, very, very rampant in Nigeria. I don't know about every other part of the world, but I know of for sure that pastors resolving disputes between couples is very rampant. And I know about other religions, of course, should also have such informal way of settling their disputes. Okay, it's when they cannot trust those family people, pastors and all that they can now employ a professional mediator. Like I told you earlier on, I've handled some mediation. Most of the mediations I've handled in the past is usually between couples. Okay, so I've handled couples disputes. They hired me as a professional mediator, not as maybe a family member or somebody they know. Okay, no, they hired me as a professional mediator to mediate between between them. Okay, so most of times, because of a confidentiality, okay, if we tell family people about our challenges, chances are that other people in the community will know about it. Okay, and the pastor's issues too. Sometimes the pastor might use it to preach on the pulpit. So you see, the issue of confidentiality is not so secured. So that is why most of them wants to hire a third party, a professional third party. And of course, when you're talking about somebody that is a professional, okay, you're talking about somebody that has understood the nitty-gritties of mediation. Of course, as a mediator, you know that the issue of confidentiality is something you should not joke with. Okay, so when the professional mediator comes in, he tries to settle the dispute between the parties. So it's not just professional mediator. There are all these informal mediating mechanisms in our society. Okay, there are so many of them.
No, but anyway, Merit, if pastors come in, are they actually just suggesting solutions? Are they just facilitating, or are they telling them what to do? Does the couple have a choice when the pastor says, this is how you should do it? Do they do that? Is it really mediation? Is it really mediation?
Yes. You mean those platforms like the informal mediation part of it, whether they are suggesting or imposing on the parties? Yeah. Is that your question?
Exactly.
Okay. There's what we call fiduciary relationship in law. Okay, so many of them, they are accepting, you know, the informal mediation. Sometimes they're accepting what the family people are saying because out of respect, they are just respecting them. It's not like what they really wanted. Okay, some of them, they don't want to really settle the disputes like that. They want to air their opinions, their suggestions, the way forward. But sometimes the family people will be like, there is no need to quarrel, there's no need to have issues. People are family, just try to resolve your issues. And you see the couples going back home and, you know, with the impression that the issue has been settled, whereas there is still hidden issues yet to be settled. The same thing with the pastor. Because of the fiduciary relationship, the pastor is seen as a higher person, whereas the couples are seen at the lower level. So they respect these people. Okay, so because of that respect they have for these people, they try to accept what they are saying. Okay, they will make suggestions, they will accept, they will tell them, okay, do it this way, they will do it, not because they want to do it solely, but because there is this respect. These people that they are submitting to as mediators, informal mediators, there's this respect they have for those persons. So most of the times, these informal platforms of settling disputes, they don't allow the couples to ventilate very well or chart the way forward. And that is why professional mediation is quite the best, because the mediator is there to aid you people. The mediator is there to facilitate. He is not there to impose his decisions on you. He's not there to compel you to do a particular thing. You must do it this way, and if you don't do it, it's over. No, the mediator tries to understand the parties, try to settle their dispute, and suggests. It's left for the parties to accept. He suggestively give his opinions. Okay, and it's left for the parties to now look for solution to their problems.
Because
Because
the thing is that I'm trying to, of course, I don't know whether you read about the World Mediation Circle, creating mediation circles in schools, communities, organizations everywhere. So when I look at that, I feel that we have to identify those people with the mediator mindset who are out there, who are actually doing mediations. They're all out there. This is they might not be using the word mediation. It is in the local language, it must be called something else. The process must be called something else. So yeah. I'm saying we have to bring them out and create that environment around them. So we have to, distinguish between the people who are telling these participants what to do and they do it, or are they actually doing mediation? So that's why this difference needs to be really highlighted, and we have to be careful there. Because if you're going out and telling people that you have those people within your communities who are there, so we have to be a little careful on this. That's why I'm asking you this question, because this is something which is important, that you have people who are doing it, but are they really doing mediation or not? So I think that's the important part. So anyway, Merit, thank you very much, because there isn't much time and several sessions starts. But anything you want to conclude on? Anything that you want to, closing remarks, anything?
Okay, I just want to especially thank you for this opportunity, okay, to come on board and talk about mediation in the matrimonial angle. I especially want to thank you because so many persons don't really know that you can actually settle your dispute via mediation. So many people think that once it happens, you rush to the courts, and that is that, okay, without knowing that there are other alternative means of settling this disputes. And I think the reason why people don't resort to mediation sometimes is because, you hardly see people that say, okay, I'm a professional mediator, and the person is known to be a mediator. You hardly see people who make such proclamations. Okay, even if they are there, they are just few. Okay, so that's why people think that if they have issues, they should rush to court. Okay, they are looking for their lawyer, go to court, this, that, and all that, right, without knowing that mediation is possible. mediation is possible.
Yeah. No, I think the important thing is that on the one end, the trust. You have to trust the person that you want as a mediator. And on the other end, the people that are there whom you trust, are they really doing mediation or not? This is why this is again where that balance comes in to find out. So because there has to be a lot of trust there. But we'll take this up. This is a discussion we will continue. Lots of these discussions we'll have. So thank you very much. And thank you, Loba, for joining us. And of course, Seville is here. Seville, we'll say hi to you. We'll take your session forward.